Sync those audio levels. Sync those audio levels. Okay. Serious face. Hello everyone, this is Bentley, and today we're going to do something a little special. This is an extra bonus video after showing you guys the GSAS home show. That's the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. I mentioned that I wanted to do a little bit more of a spotlight on Freckles, the coral cat shark. So I've got a little bit of video, and I do have to warn you, because this is important. I'm not going to play any music over it. I'm actually going to let you listen to the ambient audio from the entire judge team for the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society's home show, listening to Keith. Now, Keith's Reefs, this is his pet, and he has a crazy cool background. So he is shortly going to be moving down to California for his deployment, but he worked as the water quality specialist while being an intern at the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium in Tacoma. Now that has recently completely redone the entire aquarium side, and he was part of the team that was integral in creating this completely new exhibit, building this new marine structure. So if that tells you he's the water quality specialist for the marine side, guy knows his stuff. Really, really knows his stuff. And eventually, Freckles is going to move from her current tank, when they go down to California, into a 600-gallon, basically converting a fiberglass tank to have a view panel and give her a 600-gallon home. And eventually, Keith's goal, he said when we were talking with him kind of idly that I didn't record, is that he'd like to get another male coral cat shark and try to breed them. So Freckles, who's a female, is about half of what her maximum size is going to be. They'll get somewhere between about 26 and 28 inches is what he estimated Freckles should get to. And they don't really have like teeth like you would associate with normal sharks. It's more like sandpaper. It's very fine. You'll feel it kind of like a coarse grit sandpaper, but compared to like true teeth and like your nurse sharks and things like that, it's not there. It's very different. And there are several other sharks that are like Freckles that have that similar style where they eat smaller food, things like shrimps, stuff like that. But this was kind of an opportunity that you don't really get to see in aquariums. And I'm going to warn you right now, this is a live feeding. It's a peppermint shrimp for those of you who are familiar with them. He doesn't live feed Freckles very often, but he does to keep her hunting instincts up. And more importantly, as you'll hear in the video, it gives a source of certain minerals that we don't normally put in food that is actually absolutely integral for these sharks to be getting, and it's in their diet in the wild. And without it, they can get some serious problems. And he'll explain that. You'll hear that in the audio when we watch the video. So I want to give a big shout out to Keith because I've been talking with him and he's being really cool. He will be creating a YouTube channel, which I'm hoping, I'm filming this a little ahead of time. I'm hoping by the time that this video releases, Keith will have done what I talked to him about when we went to the GSAS meeting, and just like, hey, build your channel ahead of time. You don't have to have any video content, but once he moves down to California, like one of the big things he's doing is setting up that tank. It's going to be kind of his first video, and getting Freckles acclimated to her new home from her current one where she sits in I think it's like a 60-gallon lowboy or something like that. There's a big sump underneath and all that kind of stuff. But the important part is that I really want you guys who are interested in saltwater, even if it's just you want to see a shark every once in a while, from a guy who really knows his stuff. He's very trained in this. This is education, and more importantly, his goal on YouTube, and he has an Instagram. It's just at Keith's Reefs, if I remember right. You'll have it on the screen right here. There you go. But his goal, much like me, is to educate people, to be able to teach you stuff. But unlike me, he's an actual scientist, so he really knows what he's talking about, where I just know from experience and some crazy ideas. But I just want to kind of give some love to Keith because, one, this opportunity we don't really get to see in the hobby very much, which is what are domesticatable sharks. The big ones you really can't keep as an aquarist, but some of these smaller ones you can. And he really knows his stuff. This is his jam. Like, and he has a small reef tank that's a little like 25-gallon cube or whatever, and he was telling us that he did this extensive research to mimic the light cycle in a bell curve of where the coral's natural habitat is. So he's using like AI prime lights where he can perfectly mimic the bell curve of light, which, you know, it takes very expensive lights to do that, but it's crazy the amount of research he does, and it makes sense. He's a scientist. So this is why I kind of want to give some extra spotlight to Keith. I'll definitely have at least a link down below, I hope. I'm hoping I can link it in the end cards. But without any further ado, again, here's where I'm going to... If you don't like, actual live feedings, this is probably where you just turn the video off. You don't really... It's not gory or anything, but she does eat a peppermint shrimp on this video. And it's kind of cool to watch because she comes out of a nap and she's a little groggy and it takes her a little bit to get her bearings. But then afterward, you get to see her, how flexible this type of shark is. They're way more flexible than standard sharks, the big ones we always think of. And she's fast, real fast. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to give you an opportunity to listen to Keith kind of educate us a little bit about Freckles and watch her interact with a couple peppermint shrimp.
That species, which is the Telomicturus marmoratus.
Cool. So she's about halfway.
About halfway. And pushing all of the literature that I can find on how big or how small a fish tank can be for a shark. Not where she can, they're where she can get them now, not somewhere else. So I'll be right back.
Don't get too close. They're gonna come for you. She's flicking her eyes. Okay,
as they get closer, she's going to be able to smell them.
They're making a big mistake.
Right?
yeah, they want to think, hey, this is food. Let's go have some food. But it's alive.
Well, that's a dangerous game.
Right?
Can crawl on the shark.
Oh.
Yep, it is.
Oh no.
And this is like prime nap time, so she just might not.
She's a little sleepy.
There she
Oh,
is.
here she goes. Yeah, she said, I taste something.
What the heck is on my head?
You should remember to do it faster.
It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's really quick, and other times she's not exactly the best predator. And come on. And the only downside is, again, it's nap time or middle of her night. So getting her to have a feeding response was more the issue I intended to find.
Sniffing.
Yep.
So they're nocturnal
Yes.
by nature. Oh, she's on the prowl now. Yeah, she smelled that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Come on. And she's still groggy. I just woke up. But I know there's food somewhere, so she's not exactly... She knows where I was putting the food, but she
Yeah.
may not recognize there was other food in there. Come on. I know you can do it. I had the same problem with the archerfish. Every time. Come on. Go find them. They're cheap. Come on, now there's no over there. Go over there.
No, you put too much over here.
I know, right? Come on. I know you can do it. She's not exactly the best predator when she wakes up.
Well, who is?
I know, right? Really, Freckles? Put on the spot. You just can't do it. Because she knows that the smell was back here. I did.
Oh, there she goes.
There. Come on.
Bang. Oh. Sure, be smart.
Come on.
Uh-oh, there she goes.
Come on.
I feel it moving.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what she was trying.
Yay! Success!
Pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah. And it's nice too because this actually gives me some iodine enrichment, which is the one thing about keeping sharks and elasmobranchs in general is they get goiters because they're not getting enough iodine. So I if it's been a while since a water change, I will dose a amount of I will dose some iodine in small quantities to help with prevention of goiters because she doesn't have to
Can
be
you
in.
see the goiter right in there?
So she's never had one, thank goodness. But yeah, there's actually one of another coral cat shark online.
Well, there you go, guys. Like I said, not a gory thing, but all of a sudden there's a peppermint shrimp there, and all of a sudden it's gone. And later there's some kind of hijinks where another peppermint shrimp rode on Freckles' head and tail for a while, and she was chasing it around the tank. She didn't eat it while we were there, only ate the first one, so I didn't film that part. But it's really cool to see someone who, from a pure science perspective, but also the hobby perspective, knows and loves this kind of animal and is able to put together an environment that's going to be great for this fish. I mean, it's going to be crazy when he has that 600-gallon setup going. It's really cool listening to him where like he's found ways to make it affordable because, you know, he's coming out of college and going on a deployment, but also do things where he can show us, you know, us non-scientific people, the things we need to know to better educate us so that we can better take care of things like this, or even potentially keep something like a coral cat shark ourselves in the future if that was something we wanted to do. Which, after watching Freckles, who wouldn't want that fish? So cool. It's like Mabu Puffers, right? She's so cool. It's funny, he's got her personal, he can hand feed her. She's hand fed trained so that she'll take usually like, you know, frozen prawns or whatever that have been thawed and just take them straight from his hand, no problem, completely safe. Like, it's so cool to see things like that normally we don't see. You know, you'll see blue tangs, you'll see clownfish, hawkfish, triggers, all that kind of stuff, and you know, they're all super cool, but you don't often get to see a shark. And that, I think, is something that's very unique. You know, there are some people who try, you'll see all those shark eggs all the time, and a lot of people don't have success raising them after they hatch out of that egg. It's not easy. It's super hard. The sharks are fairly delicate. It's so hard as an aquarist in a small system compared to the, you know, millions and billions of gallons of ocean that they live in to replicate what is necessary in their diet and in their habitat to help promote healthy growth. But Keith is able to do that, and it's something that I think is really cool and is somebody that I will definitely be watching as soon as he starts. And like, I've been talking back and forth with him, and it's basically one of those things where like I'm really eager to learn the real science side of it, because I'm a total nerd when it comes to that stuff. I love listening to like heavy science talks, so like talks that come to my club and they're super technical. We had Dr. Eric Thomas, who's a big Cory cat enthusiast and is doing all this amazing research on Cory cats and the way that they expel this like basically neurotoxin and that will suicide themselves in captivity that, you know, we barely know anything about. And he's doing research to figure out more about it. And he did a talk up here and it was fairly technical. He's very good at keeping it light and keeping everybody engaged and understanding, but it's still fairly technical. And I was hooked. I was just hooked. And I would love to, at some point, be able to like go see Freckles live on her new home, but that requires going down to California when he moves. So this is an opportunity to see her young. She's only half her size. She's about 2 years old. Just for reference, 2 years ago in 2017 for the GSAS home show, she was still an egg. So that gives you an idea. I think he said she's growing half an inch a month. at her current rate, so she's made it to half her adult size, and in theory will just keep growing at that rate. She's kind of pushed the boundary of her current tank, and he's going to very soon have that new tank up when he moves. He moves in like, I think it's a month from now, or maybe a month and a half, but maybe it's very soon. And right away, one of the first things he's doing is setting up this 8 foot by 4 foot by 30 inch, so that's 600 gallon, basically fiberglass stock tank, and then doing some work and turning another kind of set of stock tanks to give himself sumps underneath. It's all going to be really sweet. It's very budget friendly. It's something that you or I could do. And he was telling me like the total cost is, I think, less than $1,000 for the equipment. There's a lot of labor that has to go into it, but if you think about that, for a 600 gallon tank plus the sump, less than $1,000, that's pretty incredible. And the viewing pain that he's going to put into it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that. That's just a little bonus, something fun. Checking out Freckles. I'm really hoping that you guys go check out Keith on Instagram. You'll see lots of stuff for Freckles there. And more importantly, when he gets his YouTube channel going, I really hope that you guys who are science-minded like me, give it a check. Or maybe you're just like, you're like me, you really appreciate saltwater, but you don't want to dive in yet, but you're happy to like kind of live vicariously through YouTubers, which is kind of how I do saltwater, is I live vicariously through other people. This is an opportunity to kind of live vicariously through someone who owns a shark. And that seems really sweet to me. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.